It's curious to me that in the Roman setting, why they would allow him to teach the things that he did for so long. Do you have any thoughts on, it seemed like Wes asked that he seemed at times to wait to bring his Roman citizens forth, but at the same time, from a Roman standpoint, they seemed to allow him to teach it where he was, in prison or out.
Well, Chris, Paul's walking a really fine line, isn't he? On the one hand, he is proclaiming that there is a new Lord, and that every knee will eventually bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord, not pagan idols, not Caesar. And in Thessalonica, I mean, he is charged with proclaiming that there is another king besides Caesar. And at the same time, he's talking about this one who in John's gospel said, "My kingdom is not of this world." He is about a much more subtle kingdom development, a commonwealth that he says in Philippians 3, a commonwealth that's in heaven, a king that is in heaven who calls us to worship, glorify, and serve him, but that doesn't pull us out of our obligations of citizenship, our obligations of family, our obligations in the marketplace. And it's hard to say exactly why the Romans let him proclaim as long as they did. It's clear that his fellow Jews understood that he was calling for such a major adjustment to their own theology by, bringing Jesus into the Godhead, and by saying that the world to come has already, in some respect, begun in Jesus' resurrection, and that now was the time when the nations would be blessed only now through Jesus Messiah, and they were not ready to go there. They understood, they understood where he was going, and they were going, no way. But I think it would be fairly typical for the Romans to give as much ground as possible. That's, what they did was they go into a culture and they conquer people militarily, but they try to leave them alone as much as they can about as far as their own worship practices and their own philosophies and stuff. And so they would have to sense a distinct, definite military threat before they're going to shut somebody down. And that's why the Roman governor in Acts 18, Gallio, who's the brother of Seneca, who was Nero's teacher. Why Gallio, when he is presented with Paul as a problem by the Jews, he just said, "No, this is something for you all to work out. Rome has no interest in shutting this guy down."